Gitanjali, Tagore's poems continued. The morning sea of silence broke into ripples of bird songs, and the flowers were all merry by the roadside, and the wealth of gold was scattered through the rift of the clouds while we busily went on our way and paid no heed. We sang no glad songs, nor played, we went not to the village for barter. We spoke not a word, nor smiled, we lingered not on the way, we quickened our pace more and more as the time sped by. The sun rode to the mid sky, and doves cooed in the shed, withered leaves danced and whirled in the hot air of noon. The shepherd boy drowsed and dreamed in the shadow of the banyan tree, and I laid myself down by the water and stretched my tired limbs on the grass. My companion laughed at me in scorn. Wow. Yes. My companion laughed at me in scorn. They held their heads high and hurried on. They never looked back nor rested, and they vanished in the distant blue haze. They crossed many meadows and hills and passed through strange faraway countries. All honor to you, heroic host of the interminable path, mockery and approach pricked me to rise, but found no response in me. I gave myself up and passed through strange faraway countries. All honor to you. I gave myself up, for lost in the depth of a glad humiliation, in the shadow of the dim delight. The repose of the sun embroidered green gloom slowly spread over my heart. I forgot for what I had travelled, and I surrendered my mind without struggle to the mess of shadows and songs. At last, when I woke up from my slumber and opened my eyes, I saw thee standing by me, flooded by the sleep with thy smile. How I have had feared that the path was long and wearisome, and the struggle was to reach was hard. Vaheguru. You came down from your throne and stood at my cottage door. I was singing all alone in a corner, and the melody caught your ear. You came down and stood at my cottage door. Masters are many in your hall. The songs are sung there at all hours, but the simple carol of the novice is struck at your love. One plaintive little strain mingled with the great music of the world, and with a flower for a prize, you came down and stopped at my cottage door. I had gone begging from door to door in the village path when the golden chariot appeared in the distance like a gorgeous dream, and I wondered who was this king of all kings. My hopes rose higher, and methought my evil days were at the end, and I stood waiting for alms to be given and asked them for wealth scattered on all sides in the dust. The chariot stopped where I stood, and thy glance fell on me, and thou camest down with a smile. I feel that the luck of my life had come at last, and then of a sudden thou didst to hold out the right hand and say, what hast thou to give to me? What a kingly jest was it to open thy palm to a beggar to beg. I was confused and stood undecided, and then from my wallet I slowly took out the least little grain of the corn and gave it to thee. But how great my surprise when at the day's end I emptied my bag on the floor to find a least little gem of the gold among the poor heap. I bitterly wept and wished that I had had the heart to give thee my all. Wow. The night darkened, our day's work had been done. We thought that the last guest had arrived for the night, and the doors in the village were all shut. Only some said that the king was to come. We laughed and said, no, it cannot be. It seemed there were knocks at the door, and we said it was nothing but the wind, but we put out the lamp and lay down to sleep. Only some said it is the messenger. We laughed and said, no, it must be the wind. There came a sound in the dead of the night. We sleepily thought it was a distant thunder. The earth shook, the walls rocked, and it troubled us in our sleep. Only some said it was the sound of wheels. We said it's a drowsy murmur. No, it was the rumbling of clouds. The night was still dark. When the drum sounded, the voice came, wake up, delay not. We pressed our hands on our hearts and shuddered with fear. Some said, lo, there is the king's flag. We stood up on our feet and cried, there is no time for delay. The king has come, but where are the lights? Where are the rest? Where is the throne to seat him? Oh shame, oh utter shame. Where is the hall, the decoration? Someone has said, when is this cry? Greet him with empty hands, lead him into thy throne. All bare. Open the doors, let the corn shells be sounded. In the depth of the night has come the king of our dark dairy house. The thunder rose in the sky, the darkness shudders with lightning. Bring out thy tattered piece of mat and spread into the courtyard. With a storm has come of a sudden our king of the fearful night. I thought I should ask of thee, but I dared not. The rose red that has on thy name. Thus I waited for the morning when thou dost depart to find a few fragments on the bed. And like a baker I searched in the dawn only for a stray petal or two. Ah me, what is it I find? What token left of thy love? It is no flower, no spices, no vase of perfumed water. It is thy mighty soul flashing in a flame heavy as a bolt of the thunder. The young light of the morning comes through the window and spreads itself upon thy bed. The morning bird twitters and asks, Woman, what hast thou got? No, it is no flower, no spices, no vase of perfumed water. It is thy dreadful soul. I sit and muse and wonder, what gift is this of thine? I can find no place to hide it. I am ashamed to wear it, frail as I am, and it hurts when press it to my bosom. Yet shall I bear in this heart this honor of the burden of pain, this gift of thine. From now there shall be no fear left for me in this world, and thou shalt be victorious in all my strife. Thou hast left death for my companion, and I shall crown him with my life. And thy sword is with me to cut asunder my bonds, and there shall be no fear left for me in the world. From now I leave off all petty decoration, Lord of my heart. No more shall there be for me waiting, weeping in corners. No more coyness and sweetness of demeanor. Thou hast given me thy sword of adornment. No more dolls, decorations for me. Beautiful is thy wristlet with stars and cunningly wrought in myriad colors, jewels, but more beautiful to me thy sword with this curve, coyness and sweetness, with this curve of lightning like the outspread wings of the divine bird of Vishnu, perfectly poised in the angry red light of the sunset. It quivers like the one last response of life in ecstasy of pain as the final stroke of the death. It shines like the pure flame of being burning up earthly sense with one fierce flash. Beautiful is thy wristlet decked with its starry gems, but thy sword, O Lord of thunder, is wrought with uttermost beauty, terrible to behold or think of. I asked nothing from thee, I uttered not my name to thine ear. When thou tookst thy leave, I stood silent, I was alone by the well, where the shadow of the tree fell aslant, and the woman had gone home with your brown pitchers full to the brim. They called me and shouted, Come with us, the morning is wearing on to noon. But I languidly lingered that while, lost in the midst of the vague musings. I heard not thy steps as thou camest. Thine eyes were sad when they fell on me. Thy voice was tired as thou spokest low. I am thirsty, traveller. I stared up from my daydreams and poured out water from my jar on thy joined palms. The leaves rustled overhead, the cuckoo sang from the unseen dark, and the perfume of the babel flowers came from the bend of the road. I stood speechless with shame with my name. Thou didst ask, indeed, what had I done for thee to keep me in the remembrance, but the memory that I could give water to thee, to allay thy thirst will cling to my heart and enfold in its sweetness. The morning hour is late, the birds sing in very notes, neem leaves rustle overhead, and I sit and think and think. Languor is upon your heart, and slumber is still on your eyes. Has not the word come to you that the flower is raining and is planted among thorns? Wake or awaken, let not the time pass in vain. At the end of the stony path in the country of the woods and solitude, my friend is sitting all alone, does even not wake or awaken. What if the sky pants and trembles with the heat of the midday sun? What if the burning and the spreads its mantle of waters? Is there no joy in the deep of your heart at every footfall of yours? Will not the harp of the road break out in sweet music of pain? Thus it is that the joy in me is so full. Thus it is that thou hast come down to me, thou Lord of all heaven. Where would be thy love if I would not? Thou hast taken me as thy partner in all this wealth. In my heart is the endless play of the delight in my life. Thy will is ever taking shape. And for this, thou who art the King of the kings hast taken thyself in beauty to captivate my heart. And for this, thy love loses itself in the love of thy lover. And there art thou seen in the perfect union of two. Light, my light, the world-filling light, the eye-kissing light, heart-sweetening light. Ah, the light dances, my darling, at the center of my life. The light strikes, my darling, the chords of my love. The sky bends Opens, the wind runs wild, laughter passes over the earth. The butterflies spread the sails of the sea of the light, lilies and jasmine sure search on the crest of the waves of light. The light is shattered into gold on every cloud. My darling, it scatters gems and confusion. In profusion, mirth sprays from leaf to leaf, my darling, and the gladness without measure. The heaven's river has drowned its bank, and the flood of the joy is overboard. Why, Let all the strengths of joy mingle in my last song, the joy that makes the earth flow over the righteous, excess of the grass, the joy that sits in the twin brothers, life and death dancing over the white world, the joy that sweeps in with the tempest shaking and waking all life with laughter, the joy that sits still with its tears on the open red rotors of the pain, and the joy that throws everything it has upon the dust and knows not a word. Yet I know that this is nothing but I love, oh beloved, my heart. This golden light in the dances upon the leaves, these idle clouds sailing across the sky, this passing breeze leaving its coolness upon my forehead, the morning light has flooded my eyes. This is my message to my heart. Thy face is bent from above, the eyes look down on my face, and my heart is touched thy feet. On the seashore of the endless world's children meet, then when the sky is motionless overhead and restless water is boisterous. On the seashore of the endless world, the children meet with shouts and dances. They build their houses with sand and they play with empty shells. With withered leaves, they weave their boats and smilingly float them on the vast day. Children have their play on the seashore of the worlds. They know not how to swim, they know not how to cast nets. Pearl fishers dive for pearls, merchants sail in their ships, while children gather pebbles and scatter them again. They seek not for hidden treasures, they know not now how to cast nets. The sea surges up with the laughter and the pale gleams of the smile of the sea beach. Death and dealing waves sing meaningless ballads to the children, even like a mother, while rocking her baby's cradle. The sea plays with the children and pale gleams the smile of the sea beach. On the seashore of the endless worlds, the children meet tempests, roams in the pathless sky, ships get wrecked in the rackless water, death is abroad, and the children play on the seashore of the endless world is the great meeting of the children. The sleep that flies on the baby's eyes, does anybody know where it comes from? Yes, there is a rumor that it has its dwelling. We are in the fairy village among the shadows of the forest dimly lit with glowworms. There hang two timid birds of the enchantment. From there it comes to kiss the baby's eyes. The smile that flickers on the baby's lips when he sleeps, does anybody know where it comes from? Yes, there is a rumor that the young pale beam of the crescent moon touched the edge of the vanishing autumn cloud, and there the smile was first born in the dream of the dew-washing morning, the smile that flickers on the baby's lips when he sleeps. The sweet, soft freshness that blooms on the baby's lips. Does anybody know where it is hidden so long? Yes, there is a. When the mother was a young girl, it lay poeting, her heart intended in silent mystery of love, the sweet, soft freshness that has bloomed on the baby's lips. Waheguru. When I bring to you the colored toys, my child, I understand why there is such a play of colors on clouds, on water, and why flowers are painted in tints. When I give colored toys to you, my child. When I sing to make you dance, I truly know where there is music in leaves. Why waves send their chorus of voice to the heart of the listening earth when I sing to make you dance. When I bring sweet things to your greedy hands, I know why there is honey in the cup of the flowers and why fruits are secretly filled with the sweet juice. When I bring sweet things to your greedy hands, when I kiss your face to make you smile, my darling, I surely understand what pleasure streams from the sky in the morning light, and what delight that is what summer breeze brings to my body when I kiss you to make you smile. Waheguru. Thou hast made me known to friends whom I knew not. Thou hast given me seats in homes not my own. Thou hast brought the distant near and made the brother of the stranger. I am uneasy at heart when I have to leave my accustomed shelter. I forget that there are abides the old and the new, and that there also thou abides. Through birth and death in the world out in others, wherever you leads me, it is thou, the same and the one companion of the endless life, whoever links my heart with wants of the joy to the unfamiliar. When one knows thee, then alien there is none. Then no door is shut. Oh, grant me my prayer that I may never lose the bliss of the teacher of the one in the play of the many. Uh-huh. On the slope of the desolate river, among the tall grasses, I asked her, Maiden, where do you go shading your lamp with your mantle? My house is all dark and lonesome. Let me your light. She raised her dark eyes for a moment and looked at my face through the dusk. I have come to the river, she said, to float my lamp on the stream when the daylight wanes in the west. I stood alone among tall grasses and watched the timid flame of a lamp uselessly drifting in the tide. In the silence of the gathering night, I asked her, Maiden, your lights are all lit. When do you go with your lamp? My house is all dark and lonesome. Let me your light. She raised her dark hand. I on my face and stood a moment doubtful. I have come, she said at last, to dedicate my lamp to the sky. I stood and watched her light uselessly burning in the void. In the moonless gloom of midnight, I asked her, Maiden, what is your quest? Holding the lamp near your heart, my house is all dark and lonesome. Let me your light. She stopped for a moment in thought and gazed at my face in the dark. I have brought my light, she said, to join the carnival of lamps. I stood and watched her little lamp uselessly lost among lights. Vaheguru. When divine drink wouldst thou have my God from this overflowing cup of my life, my poet, is it thy delight to see thy creation through my eyes and to stand at the borders of my ears silently to listen to thine own eternal harmony? Thy world is weaving words in my mind and the joy is adding music to them. Thou givest thyself to me in love and then feels thine own entire sweetness in me. She whom ever had remained in the depth of my being, in the twilight of the gleams and glimpses, she who never opened her veils in the morning light, will be my last gift to thee, my God, folded in my final song. Words have wooed, yet failed to win. Her persuasion has stretched to her his eager arms in vain. I have roamed from country to country, keeping her in the core of the heart, and around her have risen and fallen the growth and decay of my life. Over my thoughts and actions and my slumbers and dreams she reigned, yet dwelled alone and apart. Many a man knocked at my door and asked for her and turned away in despair. There was none in the world who ever saw her face to face. She remained in her loneliness, waiting for thy recognition. Vaheguru. Thou art the sky, thou art the nest as well. Oh, the beautiful, there is the nest in thy love that encloses the soul with colors of sound and odors. There comes the morning of the golden basket in the right and bearing the wreath of the beauty silently to crown the earth. And there comes the evening over the lonely meadows deserted by her soul trackless, past carrying cool thoughts, draughts of peace in the golden picture from the western ocean of rest. But there, where spreads the infinite sky for the soul to take her flight, and reigns the stainless white radiance. There is no day nor night, nor form nor color, and never, never a word. The sunbeam comes from this earth of mine with arms outstretched and stands at my door in the livelong day to carry back to the feet the clouds made of my tears and sighs and songs. With fond delight, thou wrappest about this starry breast this mantle of misty cloud, turning it into the numberless shapes and folds and coloring it with hues of ever changing. It is so light and so fleeting, tender and cheerful and dark. That is why thou lovest it, O thou spotless and serene, and that is why it may cover thy awful white light with its pathetic shadows. The same stream of life that runs through my vain nights and day runs through the world and dances in rhythmic measures. It is the same life that shoots and joy through the dust of the earth and the numberless blades of the grass and breaks into timorous waves of leaves and flowers. It is the same life that is rocked in the ocean cradle of birth and death. In the ebb and flow, I feel my limbs are made glorious by the touch of this world of life, and my pride is from the life throb of ages dancing in my blood this moment. Is it beyond thee to be glad with gladness of this rhythm, to be tossed and lost in the broken whirl of this fruitful, fearful joy? All things rush on, they stop not, they look not behind, no power can hold them back, they rush on, keeping steps with that restless, rapid music. Seasons come dancing and pass away, colors, tunes, and perfumes pour in endless cascades, in the abounding joy that scatters and gives up the sights. and dies every moment. Mhm. There sh- that I should make much of myself and turn it on all sides, thus casting colored shadows on the radiance such as thy mire. Thus is the barrier in thine own being, and then cast the self-worth, self-admired notes. This that self-separation has taken body in me. The poignant song is echoed through the sky in many colored tears and smiles, alarms and hopes wave rise up and sink again, dreams break and form in me is thy own defeat of self. This screen that thou hast raised is painted in innumerable figures, with the brush of the night and the day. Behind it the siege is woven in wondrous mysteries of curves, casting away all barren lines of straightness. The great pageant of thee and me has overspread the sky with the tune of thee and me. All in air is vibrant and all ages pass with the hiding and seeking of thee and me. Wow. Here it is, the innermost one, who awakens my being with his deep hidden touches. He is who puts his enchantment upon these eyes and joyfully plays on the chords of my heart in varied cadence of pleasure and pain. He is who weaves the web of this Maya in evanescent hues of gold and silver, blue and green, and let's be bowed through. The folds his feet as though at whose touch I forget myself. Days come and ages pass, and it is ever he who moves my heart in many a name, in many a guise, in many a rapture of joy and sorrow. Deliverance is not for me. In renunciation, I feel the embrace of freedom in 1,000 bonds of delight. Thou ever pours for me the fresh draught of the wine of various colors and fragrance, filling the earthen vessel to the brim. My world will light its 100 different lamps with the flame and place them before the altar of thy temple. No, I will never shut the doors of my senses. The delight of sight and hearing and touch will bear that light. Yes, all my illusions will burn into illumination of joy, and all my desires rise and ripen into fruits of love. The day is no more, the shadow is upon the earth. It is time that I go to the stream to fill my pitcher. The evening air is eager with the sad music of the water and calls me out into the dusk. It is lonely lane, there is no passer by, the wind is up, the ripples and the rampant in the river. I know not if I have come back home. I know not whom I shall chance to meet there at the fording. In the little boat the unknown man plays upon a lute. Thy gifts to us mortals fulfill all our needs and run back to the undiminished. The river has its everyday work to do and hasten through the fields and hamlets, yet its incessant stream winds towards the washing of that field. The flowers sweet in the air with its perfume, yet its last service is to offer itself to thee. Thy worship does not impoverish the world. From the words of the poet men taken what meaning pleased them, yet there is last meaning points to thee. Day after day, O Lord of my life, shall I stand before thee face to face. With folded hands, O Lord of all worlds, shall I stand before thee face to face. Under the great sky, in solitude and silence, with humble heart, shall I stand before thee face to face. In this laborious world of thine, tumultuous with toil and with struggle, among the hurrying crowd, shall I stand before thee face to face, and pain my work shall be done in this world. O King of the kings, alone and speechless, shall I stand before thee face to face. I know thee as my God and stand apart. I do not know thee as my own and come closer. I know thee as my Father and bow before thy feet. I do not grasp thy hand as my friends. I stand not where thou comest down and owns thyself as mine. There is to clasp thee to my heart and take thee as my comrade. Thou art as a brother amongst my brothers, but I heed them not. I divide them, not my earnings with them, thus sharing my all with thee. In pleasure and in pain I stand not by the side of men in whose thus stand by thee, I shrink to give up my life, and thus do not plunge into the great waters of life. Wow. When the creation was new and all the stars shone in the first splendor, and the gods held in their assembly in the sky and sang, oh, the picture of perfection, the joy unalloyed. But one cried of a sudden, it seems that somewhere there is a blank break in the chain of the light, and one of the stars has been lost. The golden string of this harp snapped, that song stopped. And they cried in dismay. Yes, that lost star was the best. She was the glory of all heavens. From that day the search of is unceasing for her. And thy cry goes on from one to the other, that in her the world has lost the one joy. Only in the deepest silence of the night the stars smile and whisper among themselves. Vain is the seeking, unbroken perfection is over all. Vaheguru. If it is not my portion to meet thee in this life, then let me ever feel that I have missed this sigh, let me not forget for a moment. Let me carry the pangs of the sorrow in my dreams and in my workful hours. I, as my days pass into the crowded market of the world, and my hands grow full with the daily progress, let me never feel that I have gained nothing. Let me not forget for a moment. Let me carry the pangs of the sorrow in my dreams and my wakeful hours. When I sit by the roadside in the panting, when I spread my bed low in the dust, let me ever feel the long journey is still before me. Let me not forget for a moment. Let me carry the pangs of the sorrow in my dreams and my wakeful hours. When my rooms have been decked out and the flutes sound and the laughter there is loud, let me ever feel that I have not invited thee to my house. Let me not forget for a moment. Let me carry the pangs of the sorrow in my dreams and in my wakeful hours. I'm like a rampant of a cloud of autumn, uselessly roaming in the sky. Oh, my sun, ever glorious, thy touch has not yet melted my vapor, making me one with thy light. And thus I count months and years separated from thee. If this be thy wish, and if this be thy play, then take the fleeting emptiness of mine, paint it with colors, gild it with gold, float it with wanton wind, and spread it in the wedded wonders. And again, when it shall be thy wish to end this play of night, I shall melt and vanish away in the dark, or it may be as in the smile of the white morning in the coolness of the purity transparent. On many an idle day have I grieved over the lost time, but it is never lost, my Lord. Thou hast taken every moment of my life in thine own hands, hidden in the hearts of the things that are nourishing, seeds into sprouts, buds into blossoms, and ripening flowers into fruitfulness. I was tired and sleeping on my idle bed, and imagined all work had ceased. In the morning I woke up and found my garden full with wonders of flowers. Time is endless in thy hands, my Lord. There is none to count the minutes. Days and nights pass, and the ages bloom, and the fade like flowers. Thou knows how to wait. Thy centuries flow each other, perfecting a small white flower. We have no time to lose, and having no time, we must scramble off all the chances. We are too poor to be late, and thus it is that time goes by while I give it to every querulous man who claims it, and thine altar is empty of all offerings to the last. And at the end of the day I hasten in fear lest thy gate to be shut, but I find that yet there is time. Wahguru, beautiful. Mother, I shall weave a chain of pearls for thy neck with my tears of sorrow. The stars have wrought their angles of light to take thy feet, but mine will hang upon thy breast. Wealth and fame come from thee, and it is for thee to give or to withhold them. But this my sorrow is absolutely mine own, and when I bring it to thee as my offering, thou rewards me with my grace. It is the pang of separation that spreads throughout the world and gives birth to the shapes of innumerable in the infinite sky. It is the sorrow separation that gazes in silence all nights from star to star and becomes a lyric amongst rustling leaves in rainy darkness of July. It is this overspreading pain that deepens into loves and desires, into sufferings and joy in human homes, and this is that ever melts and flows in songs through my poet's heart. When the warrior came out first from his master's hall, where had they hid their power? Where were their armor and their arms? They looked poor and helpless, and the arrow bush slow showered upon them on the day they came out from their master's hall. When the warriors marched back again to their master's hall, where did they hide the power? They had dropped the sword and dropped the bow and the arrow. Peace was on their foreheads, and they had left the fruits of their life behind them on the day they marched back again to their master's hall. Death, thy servant is at my door. He has crossed the unknown sea and brought thy call to my home. The night is dark and my heart is fearful. Yet I will take up the lamp, open my gates, and bow to him my welcome. It is the messenger who stands at my door. I will worship him, placing at his feet the treasure of my heart. He will go back with his lantern and leaving a dark shadow on my morning and my desolate home. Only my forlorn self will remain at my last offering to thee. In desperate hope, I go and search for her in all the corners of my room. I find her not. My house is small, and what once had gone from it can never be regained. But infinite is the mansion, my Lord, and seeking her I have come to thy door. I stand under the golden canopy of thine evening sky, and I lift my eager eyes to thy face. I have come to the brink of the eternity from which nothing can vanish, no hope, no happiness, no vision of a face seen through it. tears. Oh, dip my empty life into that ocean, plunge it into the deepest fullness. Let me for once feel that lost sweet touch in the allness of the universe. Deity of the ruined temple, the protein strings of the Veena sing no more your praise. The bells in the evening proclaim not the time of worship. There it is still and silent about you. It is in your desolate dwelling comes a backwind spring breeze. It brings the tidings of flowers, the flowers that for your worship are offered no more. Your worshipper of old waters ever longing for favors still refuse in the eventide. When fires and the shadows mingle with the gloom of the dust, he readily comes back to the ruined temple with hunger in his heart. Many a festival day come to you in silence, dead of the ruined temple. Many a night of worship go away with lamp unlit. Many new images are built by masters of cunning art and carried to the holy stream of oblivion with your time is come. Only the deity of the ruined temple remains unworshipped in the deathless neglect. No more noisy, loud words for me, such is my master's will. Henceforth, I deal in whispers. The speech of my heart will be carried in the murmurings of a song. Man hastens to the king's market, all the buyers and sellers are there, but I have my untimely leave in the middle of the day, in the thick of the work. Late then the flowers come out in the garden, though it is not their time, and let them in the bees. I strike up the lazy hum. Full many an hour have I spent in the strife of the good and the evil, but now it is the pleasure of my playmate and the empty days to draw my heart unto him, and I know not why. In this sudden call to what useless inconsequence. On the day when death will knock at that door, what wilt thou offer to him? Oh, I will set before thee, before my guest, the full vessel of my life. I will never let him go with empty hands. All the sweet vintage of all my autumn days and the summer nights, all the earnings and the gleaming of my busy life will I place before him at the close of my days, when death will knock at my door. Oh, though the last fulfillment of life, my death, come and whisper to me. Day after day I have kept watch for thee, and for thee I have won the joys and the pangs of life. All that I am, that I have, that I hope, and all my love have ever flowed towards thee in the depth of secrecy. One final glance from thine eyes, and my life will be ever thine own. The flowers have been woven, and garland is ready for the bridegroom. After the wedding, bride shall leave her home and meet her Lord alone in the solitude of night. I know that the day will come when all my sights of this earth should be lost, and life will take its leave in silence, drawing the last curtain over my eyes. Yet the stars will watch at night, and the morning rise as before, and the hours heave like sea waves casting up pleasures and pains. When I think of this end of my moments, the barrier of the moments breaks, and I see the light of the dead of thy world with his careless treasures. Rare is his lowliest seat. Rare is this measure of the lives, things that I have long out in vain, and the things that God let them pass. Let me but truly possess nothing that I ever spurned and overlooked. I've got my leave, bid me farewell, my brothers. I bow to you and take my departure. Here I give back the keys of my door, and I give up the claims to my house, and I ask not for last words from you. We were neighbors for long, but I received more than I could give. Now the day has dawned, and the lamp that lit in the dark corner is out. The summons has come, and I'm ready for my journey. At the storm of my parting, wish me good luck, my friends. The sky is flushed with the dawn, and my path lies beautiful. Ask not what I have with me to take there. I start on my journey with empty hands and expectant heart. I shall put on my wedding garland. Mine is not the ring brown dress of the traveler. And though there are dangers on the way, I have no fear in mind. The evening stars will come out when my voyage is done, and the plaintive notes of the delight melodies be struck from the king's gateway. I was not aware for the moment when I first crossed the threshold of my life. What was the power that made me open out into the vast mystery like a bird in the forest at midnight? When in the morning I looked upon the light, I felt in a moment that I was no stranger in the world, that the insurmountable, scrutable, without name and form has taken me in the arms, and in the arms of my own mother. Even so, the death is same unknown will appear as ever known to me. And because I love this life, I know I shall love death as well. The child cries out, weighing from the right breast. The mother takes it away in the very next moment to find in the left one its consolation. When I go from hence, let this be my parting word, that what I have seen is unsurpassable. I have tasted of the hidden honey of this lotus that expands to the ocean of the light, and thus am I blessed. Let this be my parting word. In this playhouse of infinite forms, I have led my play, and I caught the sight of him that is formless. My whole body and my limbs have thrilled with this touch who is beyond touch, and if the end comes here, let it come. Let this be my parting word. When my play was with thee, I never questioned who what thou. I knew not shyness nor fear, my life was boisterous. In the early morning thou wouldst call me from the sleep like my own comrade and lead me, running from glade to glade. On those days I never cared to know the meaning of the songs thou sangst to me. Only my voice took on the tunes and my heart danced in their cadence. Now when the playtime is over, what is of this sudden sight that has come upon me? The world the eyes bent upon, the red speech stands in awe with all its silent stars. Vaheguru. I will take thee with trophies, garlands of my defeat. It is never in my power to escape and conquer. I surely know my pride will go to the wall, my life will burst in bonds in exceeding pain, and my empty heart will sob out in music like a hollow reed, and the stone will melt in tears. I surely know the 100 petals of a lotus will not remain closed forever, and the secret recesses of this honey will be bared from the blue sky, and I shall gaze upon the summons me in silence. Nothing will be left for me, nothing whatever, and death shall I receive at thy feet. When I give up my hem, I know that the time has come for thee to take it. Whether it's to do with it will be instantly done. When is this struggle? Then take away my hands and silently put up your defeat, my heart, and think it is good fortune to sit perfectly still where you are blessed. These my lamps are blown out, and every little puff of the wind in trying to light them, I forget all else again and again. But I shall be wise this time and wait in the dark, spreading my mat from the floor. And whenever it is thy pleasure, my Lord, come silently and take thy seat here. I dive down into the depths of the ocean of forms, hoping to gain a perfect pearl of the formless. No more sailing from the harbor to harbor with this weather beaten both. The days were long past, where my sport was to be tossed on waves, and now I'm eager to die into the deathless, into the audience hall. By the fathomless abyss we dwell upon the music of the toneless strings. I shall take this harp of my life. I shall tune it to the notes of forever, and when it has sobbed out its last utterance, lay down my silent harp at the feet of the silent. Ever in my life have I sought thee with my songs. It was they who led me from door to door, and with them who have I felt about me, searching and touching my world. It was my songs that taught me all the lessons that I ever learned. They showed me the secret paths. They brought before my sight many a star on the horizon of my heart. They guided me all the day long to the mysteries of the country of pleasure and pain, and at last to what palace gate have they brought me in the evening at the end of my journey. I boasted among men that I had known you. They see your pictures in all my works of mine. They come and ask me, who is he? I do not know how to answer them. I say, indeed, I cannot tell. They blame me and they go away in scorn, and you sit there smiling. I put my tales of you into lasting songs. The secret gushes out from my heart. They come and ask me, tell me all your yearnings. I know not how to answer them. I say, who knows what they mean? They smile and go away in utter scorn, and you sit there smiling. In one salutation to thee, my God, let all my senses spread out and touch this world at thy feet. Like a rain cloud of July hung low with his burden of unshed showers, let all my mind bend down at the door in one salutation to thee. All my songs gather together, their diverse strains in a single current, and flow to the sea of silence in one salutation to thee. like a flock of homesick cranes flying night and day. Back to dear mountain nests, let all my life take its voice to its eternal home in one salutation today. Wow! Thou hast taken every moment of my life in thine own hands. On many an idle day have I grieved over lost tide, but it has never lost my Lord. Thou hast taken every moment of my life in thine own hands, hidden in the heart of the things thou art nourishing, seeds into sprouts, buds into blossoms and ripening, flowers into fruitfulness. It is the pang of separation. It is the pang of separation that spreads throughout the world and gives birth to shapes innumerable in the infinite sky. It is the sorrow of separation that gazes in silence all night from star to stars and becomes lyric among the rustling leaves and draining darkness of July. It is this overspreading pain that deepens into loves and desires, into sufferings and joys in human homes, and this is that ever melts and flows into songs through my poet's heart. Tagore poems, Prisoner. Prisoner, tell me, who was it that bound you? It was my master, said the prisoner. I thought I could outdo everybody in the world in wealth and power, and I amassed in my own treasure house the money due to the king. When sleep overcame me, I lay upon my bed that was not for my lord. And on waking up, I found I was a prisoner in my own treasure house. Prisoner, tell me, who was it that brought this unbreakable chain? It was I, said the prisoner, who forced the chain very carefully. I thought my invincible power would hold the world captive, leaving me in the freedom undisturbed. That's night and day I worked at the chain, with huge fires and cruel hard strokes. When at the last the work was done and the links were complete and unbreakable, I found that it held me in its grip. The day is done. If the day is done, if birds sing no more, if the wind has flagged tired, then draw the wheel of the darkness thick upon me, even as thou hast wrapped the earth with a coverlet of sleep and tenderly closed the petals of the drooping lotus at dusk from the traveller, whose sack of provisions is empty before the voyage is ended, whose garment is torn and dust laden, whose strength is exhausted. Remove shame and poverty and renew his life like a flower under the cover of thy kindly night. Song unsung. The song that I came to sing remains unsung to this day. I have spent my days in stringing and in stringing my instrument. Time has come true. The words have not been rightly said, only there is agony of the wishing in my heart. The blossom has not opened, only the wind is sighing by. I have not seen his face, nor have I listened to his voice, only I have heard his gentle footsteps from the road before my house. The livelong day has passed in spreading his seat on the floor, but a lamp has not been lit, and I cannot ask him into my house. I live in the hope of meeting with him, but this meeting is not yet. Mind without fear. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic wars, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arm towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into the ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom. My Father, let my country awake. Fool. O fool, try to carry thyself upon thy own shoulders, O beggar, to come back at thy own door. Leave all the burdens of his hands, who can bear all, and never look behind in regret. That desire at once puts on the light of from the lamp it touches with his breath. It is unholy. Take not the eye gives thou through its unclean hands, except only what is offered by sacred love. Little flute. Thou hast made me endless, such is that pleasure. This frail vessel thou empties again and again and fills it ever with fresh life. This little flute of the reed thou hast carried over hills and dales, and hast breathed through it melodies eternally new. At the immortal touch of the hands, my little heart loses its limits in joy and gives birth to utterance ineffable. Thy infinite gifts come to me only on these very small hands of mine. Ages pass and thought still pose, and still there's room to fill both. I must launch out my boat. The languid hours pass by on the shore, alas for me. The spring has done its flowering and taken leave, and not the burden of faded futile flowers have written linger. The waves have come clamorous, and upon the bank of a shady lane, the yellow leaves flutter and fall. What emptiness do you gaze upon? Do you not feel a thrill passing through the air, with the notes of the faraway song floating from the other shore? Friend. Arthur brought on this stormy night on the journey of love, my friend. The sky groans like one in despair. I have no sleep tonight. Ever and again, I open my door and look out on the darkness, my friend. I can see nothing before me. I wonder where lies thy path, by what dim shore of the ink black river, by what far edge of the frowning forest, through what mazy depth of the gloom art thou threading thy course to come to me, my friend. Flower, pluck this little flower and take it, delay not. I fear lest it droop and drop into the dust. I may not find a place in thy garland, but honor it with a touch of the paint from thy hand and pluck it. I fear lest the day end before I am aware, and the time of offering goes by. Though his color be not deep and his smell be faint, use this flower in the service and pluck it while there is time. Journey home. The time that my journey takes is long and the way of it is long. I came out on the chariot of the first gleam of the light and pursued my voyage through the wilderness of worlds, leaving my track on many a star and planet. It is the most distant course that comes nearest to thyself, and the training is the most intricate which leads to the utter simplicity of a tune. The traveler has to knock at every door anecdote to come to his own, and one has to wander through all the outer worlds to reach the innermost shrine at the end. My eyes strayed far and wide before I shut them and said, here art thou, the question and the cry, O fear, melt into tears of 1,000 streams and deluge the world with a flood of the assurance I am. Wow, beautiful. God, love you, love you, love you, love you.